A boat trip reveals how far the millions of people who live here have come in the year since Cyclone Nargis hurled into the Delta region. The devastation and death in this area is comparable to what happened in Aceh, Indonesia, or Sri Lanka after the tsunami. But this is Myanmar.
Well, at the lowest estimate, there's 375,000 destroyed houses. The international community have responded to less than 5% of that, which is incredibly low. At this stage, 1 year on, we would expect that figure to be 30–40%.
And this is the Irrawaddy River itself. When Cyclone Nargis blew in a year ago, it blew in from the west all the way across here. It's about 15 to 20 kilometers to the open sea. And from here to the sea itself, nearly everyone died. The buildings that we're seeing on the riverbank have all been built in the last year alone. This area is about 4 hours' drive from Myanmar's biggest city, Yangon. But even here, you can see how a little aid can go a long way on the road to recovery. There may not be enough to go round, but the villagers are making the most of it. Over here, homes that may not even withstand the coming monsoon season. You can see the tarpaulin is worn after all this time, but over here, a more permanent structure. It's a very uneven process. So we wanted to find out who decides what gets rebuilt and how. And what we found was a village with a new sense of purpose after Nargis. They're trying to help the very weakest in the community. Myat Tan Tan U survived the storm, but at a huge personal cost. She lost her newborn baby, and the shock caused her to lose the use of her legs and hands. A tree fell on her husband's leg, and because they couldn't afford good health care, he had to have his leg amputated. Their home was destroyed, and their prospects were bleak, but they didn't expect or ask for any help. Then the village was approached by United Nations Habitat, who had enough funds for 5 homes to be rebuilt. They formed a shelter committee who had the difficult task of deciding who should get them. It turns out that the process of organising and reaching a consensus within the community had its own value beyond the aid money. This committee member, Do Tin Tin Kaing, told us that she felt that the way they discussed the issue with each other and got agreement was a new and good experience. She says they learnt how to work as a team and how to help each other. Myat Tan Tan U and her husband have a good house now. Her husband wasn't around because he'd gone to Yangon to train to become a hairdresser, but neighbours help. I asked her what the first anniversary of Cyclone Nargis meant to her.
On the Nargis anniversary, I feel very happy with my situation with the nice house, but I feel very sorry for other families. They have no such house like us.
It's taken a village to raise the living standards of the most vulnerable here. It's taken the generosity of donors, both from Myanmar and abroad, to help them make a start on rebuilding. Not just because of what it can buy, but because, as one villager told us, it means they feel they're not alone. Veronica, Pedrosa, Jazeera, San Pya, Myanmar.